guys, welcome to the show. This is Michael Marin. This is the Retrade. Today I'm here with a favorite lender of mine. I got Rose Taillie here. You're with Loan Depot now.
Right.
Okay. So Taillie here is going to tell us about some things they got going on. What's going on over there?
Yeah, well, we all trying to stay home, from everything that has been happening, but we're still working, trying to close all the loans that we have right now and the refinancings that are happening right now. And but we keep them busy.
You guys been closing a lot of deals?
Yes, we're still closing a lot of deals right now.
How many new escrows are you set up? Or new?
Well, it definitely went down from, because March was very, it was big for us. It definitely slowed down a little bit, maybe, I want to say by half.
Once everybody started looking for toilet paper, right?
That's right.
We can't look for houses right now, guys. We need toilet paper. So let's talk about where mortgage rates are at.
So the mortgages right now are going down, and they have been for this past week because after March and before this happened, the interest rates were going down, but then we had a little bit of a hike, for 2 weeks there. They kept going up, but it looks like they're going down again, and this is a really good opportunity for buyers and people who want to refinance.
Yeah. So I've got a graph up here right now that you showed just back even, was this April last year, we were at 4.2% on a 30-year firm fixed.
That's right. Yeah, last year, we definitely, the interest rates were higher than they are right now. So, if we're comparing last year to this year, I think
almost a full point down.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So guys, obviously, if you're not comfortable buying a new home, but you do have a house, refinancing now would probably be a good idea, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
What would constitute being a good idea to?
Well, right now I have a few people, they're getting a full point lower than what they have right now. But anything, we'll have to just figure out where they're at, if they have equity, if it makes sense to add, all the closing costs to their loan. But if you can lower your monthly payment even by $150, at the end of the 30 years, you're going to end up saving a lot of money.
Okay, cool. I just noticed I have a little bit of a microphone problem here real quick. All right, I think I got the microphone issue worked out there. So let's we'll go back to the graph here. That was a little spike there on March 19th, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's when we were having, the interest rates were so low that we were not only having purchases, but a lot of people that wanted to refinance. And then the Fed decided to start buying bonds, and, that caused a little bit of a market height. And then the interest rates went up, but now it looks like they're coming down. So if anybody wants to purchase a home right now or refinance, it's a really good time. Yeah.
What's in the lending world, what's the speculation on the rates staying here? How long?
Yeah, that's what everybody's talking about. The rates are coming down and staying low for a long time.
Probably for a while, right?
Yeah.
Because we are in an election year, guys, so usually in an election year, neither the left or right is going to do anything to get a finger pointed at them like, hey, they took our chances away buying a home, right? They took our money away. So that goes into the stimulus packages and stuff. Right now they're just giving us that, $1,200, right? For most people, $600 extra on your unemployment. And if it happens like in 2008, like it did, those that still need it, they're still going to keep doing it. They're going to keep putting it out there because it's an election year. That's just what happens. A little pandering, I guess. But yeah, so my girlfriend Maggie, she's actually got a 30-year on her home right now. Mm-hmm. I think she has 26 years left on it right now, and she's been looking into possibly doing the 15-year at 2.77. It does jack her monthly payment up like $200, but
it's worth it because at the end you will save so much in interest.
The difference in what she would pay if she continued paying the next 26 years off at her current rate, monthly payment, versus refinancing it at 15 years, and even though it's starting over at 2.77%, it's like $150,000 difference.
Yes.
In the term of the loan.
Exactly.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And then she even looked at a 15-year one, and that one was still significantly lower too. I think it was about a $44,000 difference between the 30 and the 20 year.
Yeah.
So even that would be well worth it. So, let's say, who would really be in the best interest to do a refinance? Obviously, if you just bought a house in the last 6 months, probably wouldn't make any sense, right?
Yeah, I mean, actually no, because there is some people that they closed on a house when they didn't have a credit score that was like high enough to get the best rate. So yeah, those people are absolutely, if they have equity, depending on how much money they put down, we can still put the closing costs, add them to the loan, and lower their payments. So.
Okay. What else was going on out there in the working world? So I asked you yesterday, or not yesterday, 2 days ago, I sent you a VA loan, and you said that they had changed the...
Yeah, they have changed the rules for a lot of the programs out there, and VA was one of the ones that they raised the credit score that people can qualify to 680. In some cases, if you put 10% down, we can go as low as 620. But we're not able to do VA loans with like we used to with 580 credit score anymore.
And that's a huge jump.
It is, yeah.
That really takes a lot of people out of the running.
Yeah, it is affecting a lot of the eligibility when you raise the credit scores like that.
Is there a good website to check out for VA loans information? Your guys' website?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we definitely have loandepot.com. Might be a little bit difficult to find the guidelines in there, but we can try.
Okay.
So if we go there, yeah. Let's see. Purchase, there we go. Yeah, no.
You have to go actually through the process?
No, it should be, there should be some, I'll have to look it up and play with it to give you...
All right. Yeah, send me a link to it that we can put in our comments so people can look those up. Oh, here you got some stuff down here. You got a calculator down here?
Yeah.
And steps, defining goals, choosing the right loan.
Yeah, there is VA right there.
There.
There is so much information regarding each one of the products that is really hard for someone to just go into one website and find all the information, because most of the guidelines, they're pretty new. The ones that we've been getting daily with all the changes. So if they want additional information, they can talk to me, because that's basically what we're here for, to educate people and to let them know if they can qualify or not, or what they need to do.
How long have you been in lending?
I've been in lending for 3 years since I moved here to Las Vegas. I'm so happy. I can tell you, like, I found the thing that I was meant to do.
This is your thing?
I love it.
You like numbers?
Yes.
Like math?
Yes.
Okay. I like numbers, I like math, but I hate talking to people about their finances. I just don't feel like I'm qualified enough. And I'm sure I am in a lot of ways over most of my clients, but it's just not an area I try to get into. So when I work with the lender, I like one that I can relay, any questions about it, I'm just like, this is your lender. And
that's one thing with me, when I sit down with somebody, I like to explain from A to Z exactly everything that they're going to encounter, all everything that is related to their program. I give them the options that they qualify for, and so they can make an educated decision about what program or what loan they want to go with.
So what are some really cool programs out right now? Is the what one is it? The CARES Act, or which one? Hope. Hope.
Yeah.
Hardest hit. Right?
Yeah, unfortunately, the HOPE program is gone. I don't know when.
Did the funds get exceeded, or they just pulled the funds back to you?
We still don't know. That remains
back
to be seen after everything happened with the virus.
So for those that don't know, the HOPE program was part of the hardest hit program, and it was came out after the last recession, and it was to get people into houses with no money down, and it gave like $20,000 towards closing costs. It was a pretty cool program.
Yeah.
My last close last week used that program, and she didn't have to put anything down or closing cost even.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was really good for her. I was very happy for her. She was a nurse, so.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you did that with me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but there is one good thing that is happening right now is the interest rate for the home is possible, which it was almost at 5% for a while, is down to 3.25.
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell us about Home is Possible.
Yeah. So the home is possible. They have different programs for first-time home buyers, teachers. There's special program for the VA. They all have different interest rates, but right now they are given 4%, 2%, or 3%, depending on the program that you qualify for. But the good thing is that the interest rates are really, really low, and that will cover mostly your down payment. So most of the people just have to come in with their closing costs.
Okay.
And sometimes not even that if they get some seller credits.
So let's get some information that's not usually given out right off the top. When you get a down payment assistance program like that, do you ever have to pay it back?
No. So with the Home is Possible program, again, there's so many different guidelines for each one of the programs, but the first-time home buyers, you just have to be in the house and not refinance it for 3 years. All the other programs, it seems to have a 30-year, you have to stay in the house and not refinance.
So this will forgive after 3 years?
On the first-time home buyers. All the other programs, they require a 30-year.
Okay.
They changed the guidelines last year.
So Home is Possible, 3 years, you're forgiven.
Yeah, but but there's a difference. The Home is Possible for first-time home buyers, which means people who have not owned a house for the past 3 years. Those are the ones, the lucky ones, that get to stay in the house for 3 years.
Okay.
Anybody else who, let's say you sold the house last month and you want to use that program, you can, but you don't qualify for the first-time home buyer. But you still qualify for the Home is Possible. So
you still get the down payment assistance.
Yeah, it's just that you have to stay in the house for 30 years.
But it'll be the 30 years.
Yeah.
So then if you sell before the 30 years,
you have to repay it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or if you're a first-time home buyer and you sell the house before the 3 years, then you would have to repay it.
Yeah, and it's not the full amount. They do it like depending on how long you stayed in the house.
Right.
So it's just part of.
Okay, so it's kind of prorated.
Yes.
Okay. What else can you tell us? What else is going on in the lending world?
Well, we're definitely keeping busy. A lot of things have changed in the jumbo world. That's almost going away.
The jumbo world's going away?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we did see minimum, we saw the maxes. Because, on loans, FHA, you could only go up to a certain amount, VA up to a certain amount, and then you had to go into a jumbo loan, right?
Correct, yeah.
And then they just upped all those numbers back in the fall, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so conventional FHA, VA, we just got more restrictions, but with jumbo, a lot of the lenders and big banks are pulling out of that for a little bit right now. I don't think it's going to be long term. They're just being very cautious because of the liquidity and the market.
Yeah, a bunch of these big companies are, pulling back and looking at where they're gonna, what's the safe bet for them, obviously, right?
Exactly.
So I have a program where I work with a lot of institutional buyers. You might call them iBuyers or instant buyers or whatever. These are your Zillows, your Open Doors and stuff like that. And most of these guys have put the brakes on buying houses right now.
Yeah.
There's a few that you'll find will still purchase homes. These are more along your RITs. These are your real estate investment trusts. These are trust funds that people put their money into, and then they buy these real estate. Formerly, they were buying apartment complexes, multifamily, stuff like that, but they've actually seen that the property value goes up so much quicker in single-family homes that they're like, man, let's stop buying these apartment complexes, let's buy single-family homes. Because then they just rent them out. So they have no problems buying right now because they're a long-term plan. They're not looking to flip. But any of these companies that are buying and flipping, they're definitely on hold right now.
They're on hold right now. Yeah.
So that's a good, for you guys, your realtors out there that aren't utilizing these guys, you can fight with them or join them. If you can't beat them, join them, that phrase. Join them, use them, it's your best interest of your clients to, find them the best offer. And these are valid cash offers. And, they're pretty good most of the time. At first they were quite far off. Their rates were like 12% and stuff like that. But now they're starting to realize that quantity is a bigger deal, and they're making money other ways with. I know a lot of people don't talk about this, but every time if you have a house to sell and you go onto their, one of these iBuyers websites and you put in the information about you and the house, they have your data now, and they're going to sell that data off to everybody. And going through a realtor like myself, I could submit your house for you to all of them, and I can keep your data confidential. So that's kind of a nice thing.
Good.
Yeah. All right. But those are out of play right now, so let's not talk about those anymore. What else is going on? Anything else with lending you want to talk about?
Yeah, I just think that, I understand, we're all staying home, a lot of people are laid off and, just waiting to see what happens. But I believe that once this is over and everybody goes back to work, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to get in, a house maybe for a cheaper than they were maybe 2 months ago. Especially if the sellers need to move out of the state or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, there's always people that have to sell, right? There's always people that have to buy. There's people that transition with a job. A lot of the companies here that are in business have had to really increase their employment numbers to keep up with all the increased traffic, business they're having because all these other businesses are closed. So I know Amazon's been, hiring a lot of people. Any of these grub hubs and your delivery services have definitely been ramping up. So people have had to, they bring people in from all over the place. And so people have to move. People have to move around. I do think there's a lot of people that now that you're pent up in houses together might realize that, hey, this house is just too big for us. I can't keep it clean. Or, hey, this house is just way too small for us. We need to, so I'm seeing when things open up, I could see people that have come to realization spending so much time in their houses right now that this just isn't the right fit.
Yeah.
So I could see that making a big change.
Absolutely.
You are going to have the people that freak out and think that the market's going to crash way down. I really don't think there's a big crash coming. There's a lot of differences between now and the housing crash we had in 2008, but none of us have a crystal ball, right? So let's talk about some other things. Obviously, with the pandemic, everybody's taken some precautions, social distancing. Normally we would have disinfectant spray and hand sanitizer on the table, but we want to let everybody know that we are being safe. We're keeping a distance from each other. What are you guys doing as far as in lending to keep that distance?
It was very impressive, at least for my company. We have almost 7,000 employees, and within, I think, 3 weeks, everybody was set up working from home. So I can tell you that we closed a lot of loans, like more than from March of last year to this year, like it almost tripled the amount of loans that we closed, and it was all done from home.
Wow. So that brings up another point I've been thinking about, like how many of these companies with all these brick and mortar offices, with all these workstations and stuff like that are going to be like, wow, we can really do it without this.
Yeah.
That's where I'm seeing an issue in real estate, not residential, but in commercial real estate.
Yeah.
I could see this being a big issue because there are a lot of people working from home right now and a lot of companies that are, looking at what they're paying in rent and then looking that they're still doing their business with their people from home and people that work from home, we all watch the show The Office, right? When you're in an office, sometimes you're messing around and you're playing around, but when you work from home, you have to kind of prove that you're working to keep working from home because you love it. So people tend to do a little more work. It's weird how that works.
It is weird. I can tell you, like, I'm a workaholic either way, but working from home, like it actually is, I work even more hours because I just don't stop. I mean, I'm right there. I have everything that I need, and so I find myself working until 8, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't stop. I get up at 7, I take the dogs for a walk, I do a little bit of a run myself, then I move over to my other house. Well, I stay at my girlfriend's house right now, then I go back to my house where I do my work, then I come to the studio here, and it never stops. Then when I get back to her house at night, now I'm sewing masks, so when the order came out that everybody should start wearing masks, even cloth ones, people were like, who can make masks, And I'm like, I know how to sew. I have a sewing machine.
Wow.
So I started sewing. So actually, I have a mask for you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I made these.
Thank you. Wow. You're full of surprises.
Yeah, so this has the Retrade logo on there, And then you can wear either orange or blue, except for I messed up when I put the logo on, I think. Yeah, this one's made so you can wear it this way because the bridge of the nose has the wire in it to
Right, yeah. I love
seal.
it.
And then if you put it on this way, the retray will be upside down. So I messed that up, but
That's all right. Well, you just started doing this, but I love it.
yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, I made some. Well, actually, how it came about is my girlfriend's good friend Nikki, who I actually oversaw her and her husband's wedding this spring. Actually, was their wedding officiant. I married them, and Nikki lives in San Diego now, and her mom lives here, and her mom loves to sew. So her mom started sewing up all these masks, but she was afraid to leave the house, and we had to go drop something off anyway. So we drove all the way to the North Town to go pick something up, and she's like, I got these masks, can you please mail these to Nikki? Wow. We gave a bag of 10 masks to mail to Nikki, and then gave us a bag of 10 masks for us. And I was like, well, these are really cool. So we took them home and was picking out which one we wanted, and then washed the rest of them, and then we actually brought them to the store here. So if you guys don't know, my studio here is in my girlfriend's store. I didn't really make that known. This is just my second show ever, so I'll get a better process of announcing everything, but this is the Family Health CBD Studios because we are in the Family Health CBD store back in one of the offices. So I started, we brought the mask to the store here. One of the guests was in here buying some CBD products and saw the masks and was like, oh, are those for sale? And we're like, yeah, sure. So we started selling the masks and they went so quick that even one person was like, oh, I work over at Walmart, I'm gonna send people over. Went back to work, and next thing we know, 5 people showed up looking for masks.
Yeah, and the good thing, these ones are closed, so you can actually wash them, right?
Yes, yeah. So these ones you can wash. They do have a little bit of metal in that bridge there. It's actually like a pipe cleaner, but it could rust, I think, over time. But if you dry it real quick, shouldn't be a problem. These ones are triple layered. So there's it's actually felt or what is this?
Yeah, it looks like it's.
I think this is flannel material. So the orange is flannel, the blue is cotton, and then in the middle there's a really tight cotton weave that's a little harder to breathe through.
Very nice.
Other designs I'm making just have the cotton 2-layer, but in the back in the middle there's a slit and you can put your own filters in there.
I love it.
So people are using the HEPA bags, the HEPA vacuum bags, like for a Hoover. They work very well. They actually work better than N95 masks, they say. I don't know if I agree to that, but the N95 mask cuts out 95% of particles, and the HEPA filters from a vacuum bag will do 99%.
Oh, wow.
So they work really well. Other things that work inside there is flannel material. It's pretty tight wove. And then also just a paper towel. Works really well. So things to think about. So if you guys need a mask, come on down to Family Health CBD and get yourself a mask and some other CBD products to help with your immune system. So. What else were we talking about? So we brought up what you guys are doing to be safe. You guys are doing remote signings, right?
Yes. We're actually, I just, you mentioned this at the beginning, I just recently moved to Loan Depot, and I couldn't have done that at the best time.
Okay.
This company has hybrid signings, which means most of the documents get signed DocuSign, basically just through our system. We send them to the buyer, and and then literally the package they get to sign. Obviously, the deed of trust that it needs to be signed with the notary, and a few other documents. But the signing gets done in less than 15 minutes.
Cool, very good. Yeah, I know that on that deal for Jennifer, it went really smooth.
Yes.
Yeah. She even took the whole day off of work. She's a nurse out there at Henderson Hospital, so God bless her. I know she's trying to stay safe out there. I'm going to make her some masks too. They're on the way, Jen. But yeah, she. Where was I going with that?
Yeah, with her, everything.
Yeah, just how smoothly it went.
This is the first time I don't get to see a client from the start to finish.
Right, it's weird.
It was weird, because I like that, socializing and getting to know the person and everything. But with all the technology that we have, it made it so easy.
Right.
So
yeah, she was really good about signing her documents real quick and getting them back to us. And then she, like I said, she took the whole day off work because she was, worried about going in to sign and stuff like that. And they're like, no, we'll just send a notary over. And they could have done that, to the hospital. Although I would hate to send a notary to a hospital right now. That would just be rude.
yeah,
I'm trying to stay away from hospitals unless I really feel like I've got an issue.
Yeah,
Because
no.
if you go there, the chances of you getting it, that's where it's all at right now, right? That's where everybody's at with it. So.
yeah.
Be stuck for an hour waiting in the waiting room. That would just be
No,
a
thank
mess.
you.
That'd be a big mess.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about some news here. National Association of Realtors, this was actually about a week ago, put this out, March 27th. They put out some information about the stimulus package and what it means. So let's go into the housing here. We talk about mortgage forbearance. Borrowers of government-backed mortgages, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, HUD, VA, and USDA can request up to 360-day payment forbearance without proof of hardship. No additional fees, interest, or penalties can be assessed for the forbearance. So as a lender, you guys service your loans?
No, we don't.
You sell them off?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you heard from the lending world, how is this going down?
Yeah, so that's actually a very important topic that you brought up right there, because even though we don't service our loans, we know we are all in this together. If someone goes down, something goes south, we all get affected by this. So it's important for everybody out there to know that even though, they're giving people the forbearance, whatever, 3, 6, 12 months without payment, you still got to pay that money at the end of the forbearance period.
Yeah, don't get this misconstrued, people. I have actually ran into people that were renters and were like, hey, isn't it great? I don't have to pay my rent. And I'm like, well, what are you talking about? And they're like, yeah, we don't have to pay our rent for like 3 months. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works at all.
Yeah.
I said, look, your landlord, they're going to get a forbearance from their mortgage company. And then they should pass that down to you and give you a forbearance too, but that doesn't mean they don't have to pay that on their loan. It's going to get tacked onto the back of their loan, or they're going to add a little bit into each payment, or however they work it out. Each bank, I'm sure, will figure something out differently, but that's just not going to go away, guys. You pay for what you get, right? And if you're living under a house, you got to pay for it. It's not free.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that's a very good point, and I can't stress enough how important it is if you can just keep paying. Because let's say, in 6 months when everybody goes back to work, you expected to pay. And right now they're not reporting to the credit bureaus. But believe me, if you don't pay after that period and you don't get either a refinance or some other, I don't know how they're gonna plan on doing that, because you're not gonna have $6,000 or $10,000 at the end of 6 months to pay this money. So
right. The idea behind the forbearance, guys, is those that live paycheck to paycheck. There's lots of us out there. They want you to keep some money aside for food because you don't have more money coming in, and until the stimulus checks come in and stuff like that, buy your necessities right now, but you're still gonna have to pay that rent. You're still gonna have to pay that mortgage. So they're just saying, hey, look, we're not gonna beat you up about it right now. We'll talk about it later, and they're not gonna forget it.
Yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, because it's important. I mean, like I said, as soon as one bank is not getting their money, and after that period,
It's a
believe me,
domino,
they're gonna,
right?
yeah,
Because they owe that money to somebody else, and that money goes to somebody else. And
yeah, and we can't let that happen. I think we all had a hard time back in 2008 and 2007, and I've read and saw a lot of videos from people in the industry. They don't believe this is like what happened back in 2008. No. Because it was basically forced and it happened so quickly. But
there was a lot of differences between now and then. But I actually talked about them in my first video. I can pull them up again. But some of the major things I can think about was that equity. People have equity in their homes right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Where back then people didn't. It's not that they didn't have equity, it's that they cashed that equity out and bought toys.
Right.
Which I love toys. So I got boats and sand cars and all that stuff. But I never pulled money out of my house to buy that stuff. I waited till I could afford it and then bought it. So people scared of what happened last time have not been pulling that equity out and spending it.
no.
So there's not that issue right now. So people are going to be less likely to let to walk away from their houses because they have equity. Why are you going to walk away from 50, 60, 100 grand in equity? You don't do it. That's stupid. Other things too, interest rates were higher then.
Yes.
I think they were up around 6 or 7%
Yep.
in 2007,
Mm-hmm.
2008. Other things were how many houses there were, availability. There was very little homes then. I think there was 1 month supply of homes, 1.2 months or something like that now. And right now it's like 3.8 months, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
We like that.
Right.
It's still low though. We're still on the lower end, but we're not like starving for it. So in 2007 there was no homes, and then all of a sudden all these foreclosures, everybody walked in their house and there was just tons of supply. So that's obviously what drove the values way down.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Foreclosures.
And the type of loans they were doing too, and somebody had like 2 or 3 houses when they had no business doing that. So.
Right. Well, because everybody had this idea, oh, I'm going to buy this house with zero, their monthly payment at start was really low, right? For like 4 years, something like 5 years. And then all of a sudden the rate adjusted, and then their $800 a month payment or $1,200 a month payment went to $4,000 a month or something like that. It was retarded. But their idea was they were going to buy this house, wait 2 years, 3 years, and sell it and make a profit. And that worked for a little bit, but eventually that ran out. So a lot of people got stuck with these houses that they couldn't afford, and all those 5-year notes came due at the same time, and it really messed things up. There's a couple of little things too that were way different from then to now, but I can't quite remember them off the top of my head. What else we got here? Owners of multifamily properties who are current on their mortgage payments, they can get some forbearance as well. There's a moratorium on eviction filings, so if you're not paying your rent, you're not going to get kicked out yet. But again, once this stuff ends, you'll have a certain amount of time to work it out with your landlord, and if you can't pay what you owe, then they're going to file evictions and get you out of there.
Yeah, and remember, that you will get reported. They will get reported to the credit bureaus, and I can tell you the amount of people that come to me for they want to buy a house, and their credit is really, really bad, and
they need some
their
counseling.
score, yes, and it takes a long time for someone that has had those type of issues in their credit. To be able to qualify for a house. So I recommend, again, how important it is, because that's the issue that I deal the most, and that's the reason why most people can qualify for a house is their credit score.
Right.
And with everything that has been going on, even FHA has been raising the credit score that you can qualify.
What's the minimum now for FHA?
620.
620. You hear that, guys? And then what's the...
We were at 580 before.
580?
In my company, we could go even lower than that, but right now we're staying at 620.
620, okay. And what's conventional?
640.
640?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the, for that Home is Possible, what was the minimum for those?
Yeah, so for the first-time home buyers, Home is Possible, they require a 660 credit score.
Okay.
And then for the other program, it's a 640.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else we got here in this information here? We got 125 billion, or 1.25 billion was set aside for Section 8 vouchers. 5 billion was set aside for CDBG to help communities, states address COVID-19. $1 billion in project-based rental assistance for reduced tenant payments as a result. 50 million for Section 202 housing for the elderly. And 15 million for Section 11 housing for persons with disabilities. They talk about some credit reporting here, how they're not going to really report credit during this time, even with student loans. Just some information about the Small Business Administration's loans and the grants. And guys, if you haven't already jumped on this, you might be late, because they're just gobbling it up. So much money was given to each bank, and to qualify for this, you have to have a bank account and a business account, and whoever you're banking with, that bank was given X amount of money. So I'm with Wells Fargo, they were given 10 billion, and first come, first serve, and that was gone really fast. But we're gonna have some more information about that. I actually have a friend and client that I'm actually sending you, Julie, and she works for an FIB. Mm-hmm. And what they do is they reach out to small businesses about the loan. They have all the information about this stuff. So I'll try to get her on the show here soon. Because they probably are putting out some more money for this. They just tried to pass a bill, I think yesterday, for $250 billion more for the small business loans. It got shot down because they're still, everybody wants their little piece put in there, and they want to make sure everything's covered. So I do like that they're being a lot more cautious about this money they're putting out as far as where it's going to go, and restrictions on where the money can be spent. So a lot of these programs for the Small Business Administration, loans and grants, it's going to be a grant if you use it for the right reasons, and that's to keep your employees, pay them their salaries or unemployments and whatnot. Also for paying your rent. Payroll, mortgage, debt obligations, increased costs, paid sick leave, that kind of stuff. What else here? They're talking about some infrastructure, money towards broadband to make sure everybody has internet access. Tax changes. I'm not going to get too into this because I don't understand most of it, but talk about the $1,200 payments coming out, plus $500 for each child. I think we're supposed to start seeing those around April 13th. There's some rebates for individuals. I'll post all this up on in the comments.
Yeah, that's
links.
a really good website. It's got pretty detail everything.
Yeah, it's very good. Yeah. And it's mostly geared just towards real estate, which I like. Yeah, there's a lot in here about the tax stuff, guys. Unemployment benefits for self-employed. So if you didn't know, us realtors, our handymen, our plumbers, a lot of people in this industry are all self-employed. So normally when we don't have work, there is no unemployment fund for us, and there is right now. So look into that. There was a new set of rules and regulations put out by our governor. This is to the Declaration of Emergency Directives. Bunch of changes here, well, updates. But the biggest one for us to note is Section 6 here. This is a big one for realtors. Open house showings and in-person showings of single-family and multifamily residents currently occupied by renters of real estate on the market for sale are hereby prohibited for the duration of the directive in this effect. So if it's tenant occupied, you can't show it, guys. Not even with an appointment or anything, just you can't do it. If it's a renter in the house, I have 2 listings with renters in them, and we're basically just stuck. No nothing right now. So, but if they are owner occupied, you can still schedule a showing because it's the owner's house and it's up to them if they want to let people in. What else we got here? Some other stuff that came out. The Office of Attorney General said that they're putting $2 million funding for emergency rental assistance. So this is to help those having a hard time paying their rent. I don't know how you apply for this. Maybe Julie will have some more information about that. Well, she does more small business stuff.
But there's some information on that, some emails in there, maybe telephone
Yeah, there's some contacts to leak. But I'll post a link to this too, this PDF. And then there was another one here, eviction relief for Nevadans. During the state of emergency, ask all landlords and lenders to protect Nevada's public health by ensuring the Nevadans remain in their homes. Guys, if you're a landlord and you have tenant-occupied properties, work with them. It's in everyone's best interest to keep everybody in their houses. You as an investor with a rental property, you don't want to see that property value go down. And the more evictions we have, the more foreclosures we have, all this stuff will lead to the housing market going down. So help each other out. Obviously, if they're not paying at all and they don't plan to pay, then you got to do what you got to do. The directive does not end contractual obligations between landlords and tenants. So guys, if you still have a lease in place till whenever, you have to honor it still. Don't go kicking your tenants out. You'll get in trouble. All right. I think that's about it for the day. I'm going to throw this in there for a note. On March 31st, the NASDAQ published their bull of the day was EXPI. That's my broker, GXP. If you guys look at all the other brokerages out there that are publicly traded, they've all gone in the red. They're all going down, some in dramatic fashion, and we are poised for this kind of economy because we are a cloud-based brokerage. We don't have any offices, so we are not losing rental money anywhere. Granted, each state, of course, has to have an office. We have Spencer Walden is our broker. He's up there at just a combined workspace where he has a desk, so it keeps the cost really low. But yeah, our stock's going up, keeps going up. So very good.
Nice.
Yeah, very cool. And then a bunch of announcements came out of ratings. EXP was rated #1 top mover in transactions, ranked by the largest increases in closed sides from 2018 to 2019. #2 top movers in volume, ranked by largest increase in closed sales volume from 2018 to 2019. #1 top independents, ranked by closed transaction sides for 2019. #3 in closed transaction sides, ranked by closed transaction sides for 2019. #4 in closed volume for 2019. And #4, the Billionaires Club, ranked by at least $1 billion of closed sales volume in 2019. And we actually just brought a brokerage over down in Arizona. Chuck Fazio, him and his wife built a huge brokerage down there. They have 800 agents. He himself came over to EXP. He left his wife in control of his real estate company down there. I think it's Revolution Realty, I think it's called. They're huge down there. They do well over $1 billion in sales. So this Billionaires Club, we're probably gonna get down to #1 here soon, because they just brought their whole team over to EXP. He shut down his brokerage, brought over to EXP. He's not in it for having his name on a brokerage. That's not why he's in business. He's in business to sell houses and make money and do what he loves. And he sees that the benefits with EXP is just, it's awesome.
That's great.
What else here? Anything else?
I think we cover a lot today.
I do.
Get some good information for people.
All right, guys. Check the comments for links for all this stuff we talked about. Thanks for checking in on our second show. I hope everything works out here. I'm still working on some of the sound and the video quality to make sure that the video isn't jumping around.
And if you have any questions for me, feel free to call me, email me, text message, anything.
We're going to put all your information in the comments as well.
Yeah.
And then hopefully get you some more business out of this. Guys, if you're looking for a good lender, she's awesome. The processes they have at Loan Depot now are awesome. I kept getting these texts and emails stating what the next step was or where we're at in the process to give updates, and it was pretty awesome. I wasn't getting that from a lot of other lenders. So good stuff going on at Loan Depot.
Yeah, again,
I think that's why you went there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So somebody else went there with you too?
Yeah, I have, Carrie Cox, she's with me.
Okay.
I've been working with her since I got in the business.
Who else moved over with you? Who's the other guy that's...
Ivan.
Ivan, yeah, he's got a good social media following, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw he went over there too.
Yeah.
Very good.
So.
All right, guys, thanks for checking in. This is, what's today? April 10th?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
It's the 10th already.
Yeah.
Yeah, time's moving. April 10th, 2020. We are still in the midst of the coronavirus, so hunker down, stay inside if you don't need to go out. I think I get out twice a day, maybe. Outside as far as my studio here or my house, and maybe go outside once or twice. And take the dogs out, but otherwise I'm staying in.
But very important to get vitamin D.
Yes. Yeah, if you're not getting out in the sun, take the pill. Keep yourself going, because it does help. I've heard lysine has actually been really good about helping people stay healthy with this stuff too.
Yeah.
As far as with viruses and whatnot. So check that out. Don't overdose on it. See somebody run out swallowing a whole bottle.
No, please check with your doctor.